Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, happy, beautiful Sunday morning, everybody. Hopefully everybody's doing well. Welcome to another edition of the AccessToTrader.com weekend update show. Hope everybody is doing well. Guys, take a moment out. All I ask is take a moment out, take a second to click that like button, support the channel. If you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button. Hopefully, again, I will continue to do my best to point you in the right direction. I am not in the predicting business. I'm not guessing. I'm not forecasting. I'm not putting out there something that I think is going to happen. It's all about the next day, right? It is all about the next day. It's all based on data over opinion. If you are a brand new trader or a brand new investor, there's only X amount of things you can control and put into your advantage. Guessing and praying and hoping is not one of them. So if you are interested in pivots, guys, and you've been following along, and your career is kind of like in neutral, it can't get really going, and you are an active trader, all you need to do is spend 30 days, come hang out in the webinar, and if you like it, I think it's something that can be a really great added value into your development. So let's talk about it. We've been talking about this for weeks and weeks and weeks. The market's been held up, SanDisk, Micron, AMD, right? The usual suspects. And the question was, how long, right? Like, how long can this market actually hold up with the notable leaders, the Microsofts, the Metas, the Amazons, the Googles, the Apples of the world, right? How long can the market hold up here, right? Until the dam finally broke. And, we got our answer this week, okay? If you look at the final tally, the S&P down 2%, the NASDAQ composite down 4.6%. We'll talk about the ramifications here in a very, very potential, kind of line in the sand here in a few minutes. But the most important part is what happens next. Some key headlines over the weekend. War headlines are back. Okay, unfortunately, nobody wants to hear about it, but the weekend is here, and now we have to talk about it. The war headlines are absolutely back. You can see, obviously, go through social media or go through any newsfeed, you'll see all the details. But again, the market doesn't like uncertainty. And here's kind of the most ironic part about the markets and the White House, right? You guys remember when the market was exploding in euphoria? The White House official stance was, well, we don't make our decisions based on the stock market, right? We don't even know where the stock market is, right? We don't know. So come Friday afternoon, NBC reports, and obviously it started filtering out through other dissemination channels, that the Pentagon delayed the announcement of the Iran strikes until after the stock market closed on Friday to reduce the impact of the news. Come on, son, you can't be a little bit pregnant. Either you are pregnant or you're not pregnant, but you can't be a little bit pregnant. So anytime you hear that we don't know what the stock market's doing, our decision making is not based on what the stock market is doing. Yeah, it's pretty much based on what the stock market is doing. So kudos for the Pentagon, kudos for the White House to kind of, soften the blow. But now the news is out there, right? What do you think? It's just not going to translate into Monday. So it's kind of weird to say. But again, the idea going forward that the White House stance is we don't care about what the stock market is doing is obviously nonsense. So 4.6% decline, right? 4.6% decline. Stocks getting hit very, very aggressively for a while now, right? For a while now. Microsoft had a dead cat bounce. You'll notice on Friday's action, you saw a lot of dead cat bounces on stocks to get murdered, okay? Keep this in mind. For a stock to go higher, forget about even taking out the previous day's channel. A stock needs to take out a previous week's channel to kind of engulf its sellings. It's very, very important to understand that. But the stocks that got murdered for the last 2-3 weeks had dead cat bounces on Friday, right? Microsoft, nice move, right? PLTR that's gotten absolutely just annihilated. A story comes out, then Michael Berry, the whole the whole king of shorting the mortgage crisis. He covered his position. Okay, nobody cared when he was short the stock. Nobody cared that he's honored his position by covering them. But yet the stock obviously had a nice little bounce, just like all the other names that got sold off. You look at the other names, Coinbase, that's been in a pretty disgusting free fall since the May highs, with Bitcoin getting weaker, also rally. Again, dead cat bounces. Netflix, that hasn't had an uptick since Moses parted the Red Sea. It had an uptick, had a dead cat bounce. Apple, soft China iPhone sales, they got murdered, absolutely murdered on Thursday. Inside day, dead cat bounce as well. So you kind of get the point. Meta, who's been awful. That's the best way of saying it. Meta's been absolutely awful. Again, another dead cat bounce, but you see the other names that were, just tripling along. They're starting to get weaker, and you can see all the names one by one. NVDA, apparently somebody has not told them they were a semiconductor for the last month. The stock is acting like it's a food processing company, and nobody's buying, fake chicken, right? I don't know. In the video, it looks terrible, right? Amazon, remember we talked about on Wednesday's video, Amazon just needed to lose the bottom of the range. Amazon got smoked, absolutely smoked. We covered on a dead cat bounce. It was pretty aggressive volume, but until it takes out this whole monthly channel here, couldn't care less about it. On the long side, you just go one by one. Tesla has been awesome. Absolutely awesome. If you've been in the webinar, following me along on social media, man, I've traded Tesla so much this week. A lot, like more than usual. It's been absolutely awesome. The channels, the 60-minute channels especially, have been given us phenomenal opportunity, both the rejections and the bounces. Again, macro-wise, it's just not good, right? The stock is not good. It had its exposure to SpaceX. Obviously, the biggest shareholder of SpaceX is Elon Musk, has not participated one way or another. And speaking of SpaceX, announced after the close that this will be the fastest company to get included in the NASDAQ 100. It goes in on July the 7th. What that means is index funds that track the NASDAQ 100 have to start buying SpaceX. Doesn't mean the stock will go higher. It means absolutely nothing. All it means is a stock that's included in the NASDAQ 100 needs to be on the books of funds that are tracking the NASDAQ 100. I am still looking for this thing to close below its IPO lows. The value play is if it can't rally on its oversubscribed bond sale, if it can't rally in inclusion, and we'll see, that's to be determined, can't rally on its inclusion in the NASDAQ 100, and finally does close below the IPO price, I want to be a seller of that stock. So there's a lot of stuff going on, but the most important part, and this is your barometer now, is Micron, right? Micron had phenomenal earnings, absolutely phenomenal earnings, had a 20% move on its earnings yesterday, Friday, had some profit taking, quite a bit of profit taking actually. And the question is, what happens if there's a buyer strike on Micron? Remember, everything else is selling off here. What happens if there's a buyer strike on SanDisk? Okay, now keep this in mind. What's important on the profit taken on SanDisk and Micron on Friday's session versus the Thursday's rally? They both closed below the previous day's low. That's very, very important to understand because, again, common basic technical analysis says if a stock closes below the previous day's low, okay, and can't reclaim it back on the next trading session, which will be Monday, that is a sell signal. So guys, if Micron can't reclaim back the 5-day moving average, if SanDisk cannot reclaim back the 5-day moving average, it's going to issue at least a short-term sell signal because they both closed on the 5-day moving average. So it's going to be very, very important for both Micron and SanDisk to go green on Monday and stay on Monday because, again, if they don't and you add fuel to the fire with all the other stocks selling off, you might have yourself a problem. And here's where we kind of discuss it, right? So let's talk about it. QQQs, this is what we need to happen, okay? Bulls, pay attention. Okay, I don't care if you're an investor. I don't care if you're a trader. I don't care what you are. You have to pay attention to this. The 50-day moving average got tested on Friday. We didn't want to have that conversation. Remember that? A week ago, 5 days ago, 3 days ago, we didn't want to have that conversation if you're a perma bull. We got to have that conversation because Friday, the bulls tested the 50-day moving average, which is roughly around 703, and obviously bounced. The first time it should get defended, and it did bounce. Here is where it becomes hairy. Here is where technical analysis, you have to listen to it or you're going to be a victim of it, okay? Any close below 703 this week on the QQQ is going to level a sell signal, an aggressive sell signal. And here is what's going to happen if that happens. So if we close below 703 and can't reclaim it back, because that's the key, you have to reclaim it back, then your next measure potential is to 686. If it gets below 686, then you have a free fall all the way down to 669. So this week is very important, guys. Again, just write this down. 703, 703, 703. That is the line in the sand. There's no room for interpretation. There's no room for discussion. This is the line in the sand. Bulls, get above it, stay above it, so we don't have to have this conversation at all. Sell bias traders, that is your red light, right? You're like the bull charging on the Matador. That is your red light. Any close below 703 will get things hairy. And if you look at a lot of setups this week, there's a lot of setups that look terrible. I mean, absolutely terrible if the market continues to fall. Avago, this is the lowest close in this whole formation. Remember, it's a semiconductor just like NVIDIA, and it can't rally. If it starts losing Friday's channel on Monday, it's going to get hit. I mean, look at this. Look at the setup. It looks really, really aggressive. So keep an eye on that. Look at Carvana, right? Look at Carvana's setup, man. This is a long distribution. I'm only going to give you guys a couple of setups here, a couple of long, couple of short. But look at Carvana here, right? You got the May lows on deck. If this thing takes out the May lows, this is a lot of distribution. This is a lot of data. If it gets below 61, this thing could get hit as well. Keep an eye on it. I just gave you the price here. 61 is a big, big level from Carvana. It is held 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Any close below 61, this thing's going to get hit. On the upside, right? On the upside, look at Burger King. It's not Burger King. I know it's booking.com. But how can you have a symbol BKNG and not call it Burger King? I'm calling it Burger King, right? The funny thing is, BKNG, booking.com, is one of the only long trades I think on the natural pivot. Not on. I traded at Micron a few times off a daily off the 60-minute channel, but I think Booking was literally the only long pivot I traded the whole week. Everything else was on the short side. Booking gave us a really nice trade in the start of the week. It's consolidating here. Anything above Wednesday's high can start get it going. XYZ, right? Another stupid symbol, right? It was square, it was block. God knows what this thing is now. But look at it. It's a beautiful, beautiful chart. In case the market rallies, keep an eye on XYZ as well. So that's it, everybody. Hope everybody is doing well. Remember that 703 level. Again, if you are interested in pivots, folks, again, all you need is 30 days. Come hang out. Again, there is an alternative to the normal, because keep this in mind, folks. If you're trading like everybody else on the same time frame, looking at the same stock at the same time, well, you're probably going to get the same results. So if you are interested, click that like button, and I will see you guys in the webinar. Have a great, great Sunday, everybody. God bless, and I'll see you on the field tomorrow. Take care.